What's up, everyone? You're listening to the inaugural episode of Words and Stuff. It's a video game podcast by two video game brothers who love to talk about video games. I am your co-host, Jonathan, and I am joined by my brother, the man, the myth, the long-haired legend, Micah. How are you doing today on this fine evening, or actually really late night, because it's been pissing us off trying to take forever to set this thing up?
I'm doing A-okay.
Good, because I'm like B-okay right now, and because I'm just a little bit annoyed, but maybe we can get to that later. Yeah. Anyway, this is a brand new video game podcast. As I said, it's called Words and Stuff. Shout out to my man Hanzo for giving me a good idea for the name, because I think it's pretty cool. We're going to be talking about video games. We are two super huge video game enthusiasts, and that's not just playing them, but that's just being super involved in the information and news and ecosystem that is our fun, crazy entertainment medium. So we have a lot of fun just talking about it amongst ourselves and discussing things that annoy us and how freaking awesome the best game of the last 10 years is, which is what?
Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. Remember that name.
Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, absolutely. Yeah, it's freaking one of the best games ever. Anyway, so we're going to get into a lot of stuff today, but I kind of first wanted to give you a quick rundown of how it's going to work. We're going to have some more structure probably as we go on, but this is the first one, so I kind of just wanted to start it off by talking about who we are, because why are we important? Why do you want to hear our voices? There's a good amount of people out there that are doing stuff like this, so I think we have a pretty cool, interesting background. Micah is more of the kind of artistic side, his personality, and I'm kind of more, I don't know, what's the right word for it, Micah?
Technical?
Yeah, maybe technical. That's probably a good word. Something like that. I'm kind of more, technical. Let's just go technical. I don't know. Anyway.
Don't hurt yourself.
Trying not to. So I think from that perspective, our ideas are pretty interesting, because there's a lot of stuff that we think in common, but then there's a good amount that we think differently, and there's different game styles that we both like. We both love, a game like Smash Bros, but then Michael will get deep into Dark Souls, and then I might get deep into Wolfenstein or something. But we have a pretty wide variety in that. And then from the fan perspective in us, we've both been super duper hardcore Nintendo fans since forever. That's my first game ever was Mario Brothers on the NES, and my second game was Duck Hunt. And Micah grew up watching me play Nintendo 64 games and stuff like that. And then eventually I got into Xbox because I got Halo for the PC and thought it was awesome. So then I got Xbox 360 in 2007 to play Halo, and then eventually Call of Duty, and I got really involved in those type of games. And then Micah recently finally got a PS4, because he's been wanting to do that for forever, because he really likes a lot of their franchises and a lot of what they stand for. So we have a pretty wide variety now, because I'm kind of the Xbox guy and he's the PlayStation guy, and then we're both Nintendo guys. So and we're pretty unbiased. We're gonna announce to the world that the Wii U has some very awesome games, but Nintendo absolutely failed. They did terrible with so many things, whether it's marketing or whether it's third-party support. We're going to be honest with those type of things. We're not going to just be, a fanboy that screams that Mario is,
Ocarina of Time is the best game ever.
There's no better game, man. Ocarina of Time. It stands up against everything. BioShock can just screw itself, man. It's the Ocarina of Time is where it's at. So as far as where to find us, that is what's been frustrating me.
Yep.
We're going to be on SoundCloud first and foremost. If you guys look for SoundCloud and just search up Words and Stuff, all one word, you'll find us there. We will be on YouTube, but exactly what that's going to be is confusing at the moment, because it's not how YouTube used to be. I mean, I've been a YouTuber forever. I put up between different channels. I have probably, I think I have over 8,000 subscribers between a couple different channels, whether it was a gameplay channel I did, whether it was a production piece for top 10s that I did for a while, and game guide channels that I did for a while, under the name Bam Black Ops. That's kind of like my online name. So between all that, I've been really involved in that world too, which I think also brings a pretty cool perspective. But YouTube totally changed in the last year and a half. I don't even understand how things work on there, so we got to figure that out.
With Google and everything,
we'll be on YouTube.
Really confusing.
Yeah, we'll be on SoundCloud and also on Apple on podcast, hopefully real soon too. And then the other really cool and important thing, and I'm going to get to actually the meat and bones of our actual podcast real soon. Hopefully this isn't too boring, these details. But then The other thing is that we really, really want this podcast to be a podcast where you, the listener, is super involved. You can send your questions to wordsandstuffquestions@gmail.com. That's all one word, spelled exactly what it sounds like, wordsandstuffquestions@gmail.com. And any question you have, whether it's kind of a fun one, like, what do you think is the best game, the most underrated game of 2016 or something like that, or whether it's a deep question like, what do you think about female protagonists in video games and why aren't there more of them? We're going to answer literally every single question you guys send into us. Like, that's a promise until we can't, which probably won't happen. But if at some point we explode and we're really popular and we're getting a whole crap ton of questions, then obviously I won't be able to answer them. But I also don't necessarily foresee that happening. This isn't.
But if it does, take advantage of it now.
Yeah,
ask
exactly.
As many questions as possible.
Be a part of the community now and ask a bazillion questions. And if you ask the same question every week and you just become that guy who we always know, and we're like, oh look, it's Daniel Flanders sending
5, 6, 4, 3, 2.
Then that's great. That'll be fun. That'll be a cool part about it. So again, it's wordsandstuffquestions@gmail.com. Send those things in, and we'll get much more in detail and involved. But for now, you can just ask questions. But in the future, I'm sure we'll think of other cool ideas through that. So now we're going to get into the actual podcast. The first thing I'm going to start off is the first question I'm always going to ask pretty much. Micah, what have you been playing lately?
I've been playing lately Bloodborne for the PS4.
Mm-hmm.
It's really fun.
Mm-hmm.
It came out last year.
Yeah.
I just picked it up at Walmart on Black Friday, so that was pretty crazy. But $15, I love it. I played Dark Souls 3. A buddy of mine played the other ones. I was watching him play it, and I was like, geez, this looks really fun. So, yeah, I'm loving it so far. It's hard, though.
Well, yeah, that's the mantra of those games. Yeah. But we both took advantage of some Black Friday stuff. I've been playing Wolfenstein, and I got that on the Xbox shop kind of for their Black Friday slash Cyber Monday deals. So that's been a lot of fun. And then I got a couple other cyber deals that I'm going to play, some older games that we missed out on. And as far as some stuff that's been happening now, even though it's, kind of a frat boy thing of me, I'm like a pretty big Call of Duty fan. This newest Call of Duty sucks, but I've been playing the remastered Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered because Call of Duty 4 was absolutely my favorite Call of Duty. And it was so much fun, and I have a bunch of friends that I made and I still know online, which is cool for almost 10 years ago now. So it's been great to get back in playing with them. But anyway, now we're gonna move on to the next section, which for now we're calling Speedrun. And the way this works is we're gonna have a certain amount of topics. This week's is a little bit shorter. We just have 3 different topics, but we have those 3 topics. We have only 3 minutes to talk about those topics. So we're gonna fly real through, and it's kind of going to be a race against the time for us to kind of get out our thoughts on whatever those things are, and then talk about them before the time's up. So topic number 1 is something that I thought was pretty interesting, is what Phil Spencer mentioned about Nintendo recently. So I'm going to start the timer right now. So we got 3 minutes, including what I'm going to say about this. And Micah, you're going to be the one that tells me what you think about this. So Spencer told All Us Gamers magazine, he said, I'd love to see Mario on Xbox. As soon as someone who's been in this industry and played games forever, I'll still say it. Nintendo has the strongest first party of anyone, which I think is pretty cool that he's able to say of a different company, they've got the strongest first party. And it's true. I'll still say it. Nintendo has the strongest first party of anybody. They're just fantastic, and the memories that they have instilled in many of us who've played their games and who had the delightful experiences, having those on Xbox would be great. Continuing to work with them like we did with Minecraft, building a strong relationship. I mean, if that paid dividends down the road, that would lead to something else, that would be fantastic. I know I get questions from time to time on maybe if I would ever put Banjo from Banjo-Kazooie in Smash Bros. And I'm like, yes, I would love to do that. I would do it in a second. So, Micah, what do you think about that?
Well, I think it's a little skeptical about having one IP coming to another console.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he might just be kind of kissing up to them and just trying to get actually some good characters.
Yeah.
Or good IPs, which wouldn't be an IP then, but to their console. And then once they're in, then kind of locked in there maybe, or just I wouldn't like that though.
No.
Maybe for some kind of like, I don't know, some crossover thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or some sports type thing, yeah.
Like a Sonic and Mario at the Olympics type deal if they did something weird like that.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want it for like just a main Mario game, like Mario Galaxy or something like that, just to be on the Xbox. Because let's face it, that's like what Nintendo has is those games.
Mm-hmm.
So just to give it away, then what would the point of even having a Nintendo
Exactly.
console?
And I think a lot of people have been pushing for Nintendo to stop making the console and start putting their games on other things instead, just becoming like kind of what Sega did when they had to give up their consoles. But I don't think Nintendo has to do that yet, but maybe Phil Spencer is trying to look to the future, and maybe he sees Nintendo falling apart soon, and maybe he's saying, hey, instead of joining up with PlayStation, how about you join up with us? Which, I mean, think about it. People have always thought, like, it would make sense if Nintendo and Sony ended up going together because they're both from Japan, but imagine the company of America, which is clearly Microsoft, and on the Japanese side, it's more PlayStation versus Nintendo fighting each other. But if Microsoft and Nintendo join forces, that would be nuts. And I don't really want it because that biased part of me is like, Nintendo is so awesome. I don't want them to lose that. But at the same time, that would be like something that would be. Oh, there's a timer. Time's up. You can't listen to the rest of my thought now. Sorry.
None of that matters.
No. Okay, so let's go to speedrun topic number 2. And this is a kind of simple one. And it's the free games that we have in December. So it's going to be Sony's and Xboxes. So I want to talk about them real quick, what they are, and compare them. So for PlayStation Plus games, and this is specifically just for the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. I know that PlayStation also has like the PSP ones and all that kind of stuff. But,
PS3 even still.
And even the Xbox 360 ones that you can use backwards compatible for the Xbox One. But let's just push those aside and let's just talk about our current gen. So we've got Stories: The Path of Destinies on PS Plus, and we've got Invisible Ink on PS Plus, and I think Invisible Ink is a pretty cool one. And then we've got, for games with gold, we have Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition, and that's December 1st through the 31st for Xbox One, and Outlast, December 16th all the way to mid-January on the Xbox One. Micah, are you interested at all in any of those?
No. Yeah, I would say the Xbox ones seem way better. They're actually real games.
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation kind of lately has just been throwing kind of weird indie games at us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not interested in stories. Just like a weird animal walking around in like a top-down game.
Yeah.
I don't want to be an animal, really.
What does that
that's
even
besides
mean?
the point. But it really comes down that the games with gold, they're actually real games, full-fledged games that you're getting for free. Compared to like these little games, which I guess it's nice. It's free anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, I agree.
pick it up
I
and
mean,
try it.
some of the games, we've got some crappy games with gold one. I mean, I remember the one was that it wasn't King's Quest. It was something.
That's a good game.
Yeah, definitely. It was like a weird game. It was the King's Chariot. It was the worst game.
Oh,
one of the worst games.
yeah.
I reviewed that game. One of the worst games
Seemed like some kind of mobile
ever
game.
played. It was so terrible. I reviewed probably 40 to 50 games for a friend's website, which has been a whole lot of fun to do that. I think that was probably one of the worst game I ever reviewed was Toro. Toro was the worst video game I've ever reviewed.
And that was $20.
It was
first, too.
yeah,
That's insane.
it was ridiculous. Thankfully, we got a free code for it. Otherwise, there's no.
No.
I would hate myself that I had to buy that game. Here's what Invisible Ink looks like, by the way, Micah. Just showing you. Do you remember this right here? It's like a turn-based. It's very interesting. Invisible Ink, I think, is a cool one. It's like
the perspective similar to the other game actually that you get for free for PlayStation.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting choice.
Yeah.
I'd be down to play Invisible Ink.
I'd try that out.
Yeah, Invisible Ink to me is a cool one, and then the other ones are just kind of ho-hum. I don't know. I mean, Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition. That franchise is supposed to be kind of interesting. It's like the GTA of nothing.
It's over.
Okay, last topic. I don't even think we might necessarily get to the 3-minute of this. Maybe we will. Micah, you're the Sony guy, and this is one of the games that initially got you interested in saying, like, oh, this is a Sony game. The Last Guardian is finally coming out in just a couple days. What is your thought on that?
It still was a shock that it's even coming out.
Yeah.
It's been years.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was little, a wee lad. Like seeing like stuff for E3 for when I started actually watching them, and like seeing that it's supposed to be on the PS3, and I know it's getting pushed. It's not even at E3 this time. Oh, it is at E3. And eventually, that it's actually out.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. I don't feel very like excited though. I don't know.
Do you think that might end up being a good thing? Like your expectations now are so just like, here it is.
I don't know. I guess it's just kind of like my personality or just how I work, but I don't really get too excited about games until I actually start playing them, and then that's when I'm like, whoa, this is a really good game.
That's a really good thing.
And I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen.
I think tempering expectations is huge for people. I mean, I remember I love Twilight Princess. It's one of my, some people aren't the biggest fan of it, but I absolutely love Twilight Princess. The 70-hour like epic Zelda was exactly what I wanted, like a Zelda that was just that huge. But it did a little bit hurt it for me for how long it took and how I was just gobbling up every little piece of information I possibly could. Every trailer I watched a bazillion times, and Nintendo Power, I read those same articles whenever they had a piece on it over and over again, because I was like, I am so interested in this game. And even though I still loved it, maybe the beginning part kind of scared me. That first intro area of Zelda that you got to do like 5 hours worth of like being in your village,
like the longest
and
intro.
Like there was a little part of me that was like, oh crap, what if this game isn't as good as I'm hoping it to be? But I think that was my fault, and I ended up loving it anyway. But I think it's important to temper your expectations. What is this game going to be? We're going to run out of time with this timer, I'm sure. What do you even think that is it an RPG? Is it like a story-based like journey type game? Does it have like skill trees? Is it going to be 20 hours long? Is it going to be 2 hours long? What are you even expecting out of it? Or are you just...
It's they're Japan studios, right? I believe that's...
Yeah.
That's what they are. It's going to be like a Shadow Colossus. I mean, I think they're all really the same in the gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
So if it's 3 hours long, and if it's 3 hours long, if it's a journey type thing, are you happy? If it's really good for those 3 hours?
Yeah. I think it'll be that, and maybe like the jumping around and climbing stuff similar to the Uncharted games, stuff like that.
I'm gonna cheat with this one, just with like a joke. What is if it's a 3 hour game? What is the math for that? For how like every week that they worked on the game, they
now
got
that I
done,
think about it,
like,
that would be
1
sad if
minute
it was
worth of gameplay. Like
really, it actually should be way longer than that.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I really haven't seen any gameplay with it, so
no,
I have no idea what I'm jumping into.
They keep showing this seemingly the same exact thing. So yeah, I'm afraid that people are gonna jump into it and think it's terrible, but we'll see. We kind of cheated there and went past topic. So let's talk about the actual main topics. We've got 2 things that are our main topics of the week. No timers on this one. We're just gonna go and talk and talk about our thoughts. And it is 2 big events that happened in the gaming universe, in the gaming world over the last week or whatever, and that is the Game Awards as well as PSX. So let's talk about the Game Awards first. I'm going to go through the list of winners, and we can talk about every single topic and what we think about it. Does that sound good?
Yeah, it sounds great.
And then if there's any trailers or whatever that we wanted to talk about, because that's one of the cool things with the Game Awards too. First of all, I want to say that other than the music, because those music performances were terrible.
They were.
Other than the music, I think Jeff Keighley's doing a really good job. It seems like it's a high production. It's got the same like celebrities coming out and saying funny, corny jokes that aren't really funny, but that's the exact same thing that the Oscars do and the Emmys do. So it has that same feel.
A video game version, which we really should have had something like this.
Exactly.
Way earlier. I mean, video games have been on that level for a long time, but a lot of people just don't really see it.
Yeah, they've been on that level for us, but they haven't been on that level for the culture as a whole in a while. Maybe in Japan it's been on that level for a lot longer, but not here. So it's great to see. I like it. I enjoy it. Maybe I still looked at as a loser for some people for staying up and watching that, but I don't care. It's fun. Okay, so let's go over the first topic. I think this is the one that we're maybe going to care about the least. Best esports game. The nominees were Counter-Strike, Dota 2, League of Legends, Overwatch, and Street Fighter 5. And to me, I'm already confused about this because Counter-Strike is like a freaking 15-year-old game. Dota 2 and League of Legends have been out for a while. I don't understand the point of that already. To me, if you're showing the Game Awards for 2016, it should be
2016.
Exactly.
Games.
And I know these games are updated and stuff, but in my eyes, they shouldn't even be on the list. That's just me personally. Which that would
really just leave.
It should just be Overwatch and Street Fighter. That would be it. Yeah. And Overwatch was the winner, and I guess I don't have a problem with that. You're the one that played some Overwatch, but Overwatch won some more awards, so we can talk about that more later. Best esports team. Whatever. Cloud9 won. Cool, good for them. I don't know anything about that. Best esports player, Cold Zura. Good for him. Yeah, I'm really happy.
Good job.
Esports are cool. Don't get me wrong. I like them, and I've dabbled in like semi-competitive type stuff online, with some Call of Duties back in the day and stuff like that. So it's cool, but yeah, whatever. Let's move on. Trending gamer this year was Boogie2988, and all I can say is that dude's really big. I just want to give him a hug. He looks like he weighs like 5,000 pounds, but he just looks like a giant teddy bear. He seems like a really cool guy, so it was cool to see him win. Okay, now we're going to go to kind of more interesting and important stuff. And this is a fun topic for us because this is one we can talk about for a few moments. Most anticipated game. It was God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Mass Effect, Red Dead Redemption 2, and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Yep. What did you know which one won this one? Because this is not one that
actually is one that I don't remember seeing.
What do you good?
And now I'm curious.
Good. What did you think won, and what did you want to win?
I'd want Legend of Zelda to win. I'm gonna go with that. Yeah.
You think that's what won?
Yeah.
You are correct. Legend of Zelda won, which is awesome. I think God of War probably had the least chance there because it looked really, really cool. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I don't even know if it's coming out. I think that might be a 2000. I feel like that's a 2018 game. Yeah. Horizon. I didn't think everybody's excited about it, but we've all. I think the point of kind of anticipation is having seen some footage, but not too much, because then that's like the perfect amount of anticipation. So I think Red Dead Redemption 2 is a good fit for there too. Horizon, we've seen a whole bunch of it. And Mass Effect, I know people are excited, but at the same time, it seems like it's just going to be a bigger, better Mass Effect, which is cool. But to me, the game out of all this that seemed like it was doing the most new would be Horizon Zero Dawn, obviously, because it's a brand new game. And then The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, because it's Zelda, but it's like a brand new Zelda, completely different. So I'm glad that won. I'm excited about that game for sure.
Yeah.
Best multiplayer. Battlefield 1, Gears of War 4, Overcooked. Shout out to Overcooked. That's pretty funny. It's all these are like multiplayer shooters online, and then you get Overcooked, which is just sitting on the couch and yelling at people about steak. So I think it's kind of funny. Overwatch was another one, Titanfall 2, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. That's interesting because it came out so late last year. It was past the deadline. And the cool thing about Rainbow Six Siege, I love that game, is that the fan base, the player base for it now is actually more than it was at launch, and that's super rare for that type of game. It might be for like a MOBA or for a obviously an MMO. That's totally possible that the player base just continues to grow. But for a shooter that's pretty much just a shooter at heart, that's pretty much what it is, and it has you could categorize it as a hero shooter kind of, but it's pretty much just a tactical shooter. It's
a solid game.
Yeah, it's really cool that it's held up this long, and they've done a good amount of updates. And this doesn't fall under my category before we're talking about like Counter-Strike, which is like a freaking 20-year-old game, because Tom Clancy is like right about a year old now, but it didn't fall under the category of being able to make it last year because it didn't hit the deadline of, I think it's like November 26th with when games had to be made by or whatever.
Yeah, something around there.
Anyway, the winner of this was Overwatch, which I totally get why, because that game pretty much has exploded. A lot of people are playing it, a lot of people loving it. And that's going to win more, so we can talk more about that in a little bit. Best sports racing game. This is one that you and I kind of care about the least, but the one that I feel like deserved to win here definitely won. It was FIFA 17, MLB The Show, NBA 2K17, Pro Evo Soccer 2017, and Forza Horizon 3. And Forza Horizon 3 won it, and that's totally worthwhile. I've not yet gotten a chance to play that game, but Forza Horizon 2 was awesome. So this is just the same thing but bigger and better and in Australia, and that's awesome.
So Kmart.
Yeah, exactly. The game totally deserved to win, even though I haven't even played it yet. I know, just from looking at it, I can see just how much they did with that game. That's awesome. Best family game: Dragon Quest Builders, Lego Star Wars: The Force Awakens, Pokemon Go, Ratchet and Clank, and Skylanders. And the winner is Pokemon Go, and that's kind of interesting because I don't know, a family game. It's kind of strange. I don't know. It feels like it's like, yeah, you could play it as a family, and we totally did. I don't know. I guess it is a family game. Here's my confession. Mike and I would drive into our our decently sized park, and just walk around or drive around really slow to hatch eggs and find the area where there was like a Machop breeding ground, which then later turned into what was the other one? What's his name?
Growlithe.
Growlithe, yeah, which later turned into a Growlithe breeding ground, which is nowhere near as good. The Machop breeding ground was much better.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm really proud of those times, but
that's why I said confession.
Yeah, when I look back on it, it's like, oof.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, and that was only a couple months ago. That's so weird. I don't even have that game downloaded on my phone anymore.
Really?
Like, if I re-downloaded it, it would still be there, but I don't even have it on my phone. I don't know. I mean
it's winter now. I mean, basically, it's cold, so
yeah, nobody wants to go out. No one wants to walk around.
To school, to my college, so that works well for me. But
yeah, you get to hatch eggs and do the whole buddy system and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's no denying that game exploded, unlike anything I've seen in a while. So it's pretty ridiculous. A lot of people don't even play games for messing around with that because they remember Pokemon from their childhood. So they did a lot of dumb stuff with that, but they did a lot of good stuff too.
Yeah.
Best strategy game: Fire Emblem Fates, The Banner Saga 2, Total War, Warhammer, XCOM 2, and Civilization 6. And the winner was Civilization 6.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of funny that XCOM 2 has gotten so little love when XCOM 1 was just like considered like everything was like best PlayStation game, XCOM, best Xbox game, XCOM, best PC game, XCOM, best overall game, XCOM. Yeah. I was like, what the heck? It's not my game, and it just came out of nowhere, and I'm like, what the heck? And I get it that it's a good game, but I think it's kind of interesting that it totally flew under the radar and hasn't gotten much love this time around. I don't even know if the game's better or worse because it's not my style of game or whatever, but best fighting game: Killer Instinct Season 3, King of Fighters 14, Pokken Tournament, and Street Fighter 5, and the winner was Street Fighter 5.
Yeah.
And this was a pretty not a good year for fighting games, I don't think.
No.
Pokken was weird. It's kind of strange that I feel like that game's only a nomination because like they ran out of nominations. There's only 4 nominations here, and like some of the other categories have way more than that.
Yeah.
It's not that great of a year for fighters, let's be honest. Best RPG, and this is one where there's a game in this category that you're annoyed didn't get more love than this. Dark Souls 3, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, World of Warcraft Legion, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, and Xenoblade Chronicles X. And the winner was The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, Blood and Wine, the DLC.
It's a DLC.
I don't get this. I don't understand. And here's my little disclaimer here. The Witcher 3 is one of my favorite games ever. I absolutely love that game, and I'm a hardcore like I'm a fan of like video game history too. If you ask me my top 10 favorite games, I'd be giving you some from the 80s. I'd be giving you some from the 90s. I'd be giving you some from the early 2000s. I'd be giving you some from now. Like, it's stretched out, and The Witcher 3 is totally in that top 10 for me. It is the best of that style RPG I've ever played, of like the big exploration / collection / etc. RPG. It's so good, but I don't feel right giving this DLC the best RPG award. It just feels weird to me. Here are these other games that are new games. You have Xenoblade Chronicles X, you have Dark Souls 3, and you have Deus Ex Mankind Divided, and World of Warcraft Legion is kind of in that category too, because it was an expansion as well. I don't feel good about giving these awards to these games that came out last year. It just seems kind of funny to me. And I know you love Dark Souls 3.
Yeah, I did.
I personally really like the Deus Ex series. I never got around to playing Mankind Divided. Sometimes I have to be in the mood to play those type of games that are just so huge and deep and complex, and I just kind of wasn't in the mood to play it. I'll probably dip my toes into Deus Ex Mankind Divided eventually. That's the problem. I can't dip my toes into Deus Ex Mankind Divided. If you're going to play a game like that, you got to just dive in head first, and that's kind of why I haven't gotten around to it yet. But I feel like Dark Souls 3 or Mankind Divided is more... I feel like it deserves it. And for that, how about the Xenoblade Chronicles X 2? I feel like that game was deserving as well. I'm glad they all got nominated, but I kind of feel it's weird that The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt won. What do you think? I know you're along the same lines.
Yeah, I would have liked Dark Souls 3 to win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't really like that whole DLC thing because it's not actually the game. It's an add-on, basically.
Yep.
I mean, they put a lot of work into it, but I still don't... It's most of the time would still be less work than an actual full game, which are all the other nominees.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah, it kind of steals it away because like, what if they didn't have that DLC, which isn't even a full game?
Yeah, I wonder what the number 2 game was, and I feel like that's one that should have won.
Yeah,
but oh well. Next one, we've got Best Action Adventure Game, which is kind of one of those that you're like, I don't even know what that genre even means anymore. I don't know. No. Whatever. So we've got Dishonored 2, we've got Hitman, we've got Hyper Light Drifter, we've got Ratchet and Clank, and Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. So from this list, Hyper Light Drifter is actually one of the other games that I got for the whole Cyber Monday deal. I've played just like a half hour of it. Really like the art style and the music and the whole feel of it's pretty cool. So I'm excited to jump more into that game. I know Ratchet and Clank, a lot of people were psyched about the game and what it did. All that being... Oh, and Hitman. Hitman's really cool, too. I played that one. I played the opening Paris thing. I think it was really cool what Hitman did. They, like, allowed me to buy the game for $10 and just play the Paris level. And I liked it, and I enjoyed it. And there are plenty of people that said, this is awesome, I'm going to play more. Yeah. And I didn't. I was like, this is enough for me. I get it. It's cool, but I don't see myself, playing this really anymore. So I think it's great that they let me do that. Maybe they lost money. Maybe there are plenty of people out there that would have bought the $60 version and they didn't. But I'll be honest, I wasn't going to buy the $60 version. That $10 version was kind of like a glorified demo to me. And it was really cool, but not quite enough for me to buy. But maybe now, if at some point they like come out with some special deals.
They still got a little money from it, though.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it was a cool idea. But I think in the end, it was just between Uncharted 4 and Dishonored 2. Like, I think that's pretty clear that those were the two. And Dishonored 2 won, and I'm kind of surprised about that. I thought Uncharted 4 would win. I thought it would kind of get the whole Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King thing, where it's like, this is the last one. So, like, everybody is just like, yep, let's give this every single award we possibly can.
Yeah.
But Dishonored 2 won instead, and I know you're a massive Uncharted fan. That's probably one of your favorites. Probably top 5 series, right?
I don't know about top 5.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites. For PlayStation, for sure. For like a PlayStation game.
Yeah.
It's maybe even number 1. I really love those games. I played the trilogy, and then 4, and it's just like, it's just a blast of Unchartedness, and it was just...
Yeah, you played because that's when you got because you relate to the PlayStation party, you jumped into all those and ended up playing pretty much all of them straight. By the time you got 1, 2, and 3 done, like right about then was when Uncharted 4 was pretty much going to come out. So
I gave it a little time though, so I could rest my Uncharted.
Not to go overboard.
But yeah, I love those games, and as an action adventure category, you'd think that would be like the number one pick, because
I agree.
Exactly what it is.
Yeah, that exactly. It's an adventure. It's literally what it is, and it's action packed. I feel like that's the best. If you said what is an action adventure, you say Uncharted. That's literally what the definition of it is. So yeah, I'm a little surprised it didn't win, but Dishonored 2, I know there's a lot of people out there that love that series. Never got into it myself, even though I love stealth games and stuff like that, but it not my cup of tea, but I totally get that it probably deserved it. It looks like a really great game. Okay, now here's the category that I'm confused about. Best action game. And every single one of these are shooters, so why didn't you just say best shooter game? What is an action game? Like, doesn't every single video game have action in it? Other than, like, the Gone Homes of the world that are totally fine games, but they're, or like the Journey, I don't know. Yeah. The ones that are like the walking simulator games, and some of those can be really fun, like they take you through a cool story. But like, other than like that, isn't every single game action packed? Like, doesn't Tetris have action? I don't know. Like, I'm confused about what action even means. But here are the nominees on the list. We've got Battlefield 1, Doom, Gears of War 4, Overwatch, and Titanfall 2. Winner was Doom, and I totally get that, because I think across the board, this, remember, these are voted on by, I think it's like 30 plus like video game sites, like the IGNs and the GameSpots of the world and all that. And they all love Doom. Doom was really highly rated. I think Battlefield 1 probably gave it a pretty decent run for its money.
There's a lot of action in that game.
That's for what, Battlefield or Doom or both?
Doom.
Yeah, it's just like blood splatter everywhere and sawing things in half.
But speaking of like that as a category or whatever, I think it doesn't even need to exist really, because just about every game is an action game. Mm-hmm. Other than those couple that those other newer types of genres or types of games where you're kind of just walking around or something. Yeah. But I mean, especially because they're all shooters. Unless that was just a coincidence, they might as well have just made it first-person shooter or just shooter category.
Yeah, I think they should. I think if we look back at previous years, maybe they're not always shooters. But I feel like maybe they should just strip this title and change it to just best shooting game.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe because they're trying to appeal it to a broader market, they don't want a award called shooter. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. But let's be honest, these are all shooters, and they're all based around if you shoot that guy in the head, he'll die. So that's what the game is. Sorry, if you don't like it, deal with it. Okay, next one is best VR game, and both of us really want to try VR. We haven't gotten around to it yet.
That'd be cool.
You have the PlayStation, so maybe at some point you might you might try it out. We'll see. Mm-hmm. But anyway, the best VR games are Batman Arkham VR, Eve Valkyrie, Job Simulator, Res Infinite, and Thumper. And I know a lot of people who love a good amount of these games. I think Valkyrie is the most like game of all of them. Mm-hmm. Eve Valkyrie. So I kind of wish that won, because that's like the most game centric of these. The other ones are kind of experiences.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Batman didn't win, because everybody who I've heard from or talked to who says, like, if I was going to pick one game, and maybe this is more specifically like the PlayStation focus as opposed to Oculus Rift and stuff, but they're like, if I'm going to have one game just to show people what VR means, it was going to be Batman VR. It gives you the best feeling of what VR can do. The winner was Res Infinite, and I literally have no opinion on this. I don't even know what that game is right now. I'm sure I've seen it, but do you know what that? I don't even know.
I'm just thinking of Resogun when I hear Res, but
yeah, I don't think because it was from it's made by Enhanced Games, and that was not them, so I don't even know.
It's a game.
Yes, it's a game. It's a game that you play in virtual reality, and it won Best VR Game of 2016.
That's all we know.
Yep. Okay, Best Mobile Handheld. We've got Severed. We've got Pokemon Go, Monster Hunter Generations, Fire Emblem Fates, and Clash Royale. And let's just talk about the fact of how sad it is that we have a category where Clash Royale and Pokemon Go are going head-to-head against Monster Hunter and Fire Emblem.
Actual games.
Yeah. And the actual games didn't win because the winner was Pokemon Go. And we talked about already how that game exploded onto the scene and was awesome for what it did for people getting into the games. And I'm sure a lot of people were like, hey, this is awesome. I'm going to go buy a 3DS. And Sun and Moon, the new Pokemon game. So that's great. But at the
Yeah.
same time, are we awarding the game that's the best mobile handheld? That's the name of it. Best mobile handheld. Are you really telling me that Pokemon Go is a better game than Fire Emblem Fates or Monster Hunter Generations or Severed? No, it's not.
No.
And Clash Royale, I play that game. It's a fun game to play. I've got some friends, and my girlfriend plays it, and she barely plays any games. So it's a fun game to do that kind of thing. But still, it doesn't even touch Fire Emblem Fates or Monster Hunter Generations. So I don't.
I guess
You and I both don't like handheld games.
No.
Excuse me, mobile games anyway. So
Yeah.
we play them because whatever. They're a decent They're a distraction to me. If I've got time at my lunch break at work or whatever, that's what a mobile game is. Or if I've got a few minutes here at home and just chilling for a second. I mean, a handheld game, mobile, yeah. Then that's what it is. But to me, they're not even in the same stratosphere. So whatever.
I guess really if they didn't have mobile game in there, then it would just basically just be best 3DS game. Because Vita doesn't really have any games.
No, not really.
So, I mean, there's really no competitors when it comes to the handheld market.
Yeah.
Other than, mobile games.
Mm-hmm.
So, it really would just end up being 3DS. So, maybe that is why they kind of threw it in there, too.
Yeah, I guess so.
But, yeah, it's a shame, though, to compare those when they're really not the same.
And it's a shame that Pokemon Go won. It's just weird.
Yeah.
I get it that for what it did, but if we're just it's not what was the most influential mobile handheld game. Yeah, it's definitely Pokemon Go. It's the best. What was the best mobile handheld game? And Pokemon Go is not. Period.
Nope.
Period. Okay, we got a bunch more to go here, so let's fly through these real quick. Best independent game: Firewatch, Hyperlight Drifter, Stardew Valley, and The Witness, and the winner was Inside. Freaking love that game. Inside is so good. It's so weird. It's so twisted. It made me uncomfortable. It made me just a nervous feeling, but it's so good. It's some beautiful storytelling in ways that I don't even know how they pulled it off. And they pulled it off because they made $1 billion by making their previous game. And the fact that they had so much time now to be able to work on it because they made so much money on the last game, and that's great. And I don't know if this one's going to sell as well, and I don't know exactly what it's going to do, but it's such an awesome game. It's beautiful. I can't even.
It's just great at executing the feelings that they want to give.
And I'm all into a game making you feel something. It's a game having I can't stand when a game or a movie or any kind of piece of entertainment in that way, it just gives you all these moments where it makes you feel out of place. It's like a dumb, goofy joke that just pulls you out of the experience, or it's like a weird gameplay element that makes no sense. It's no, when I'm playing Inside, the whole world around me kind of shut off, and I was playing Inside because it just drew you in, and everything about it kind of captivated me and made me interested. And games like that are rare. It's like the BioShock type game, the Metroid Prime type game. Those games are really special, and Inside is that type of game, and I'm glad it won. It totally
instead of making you feel like, oh, I'm playing a game.
Yeah, exactly.
I forgot I'm watching a movie. When
we just watched Harry Potter, the entire time I'm captivated by this new Harry Potter movie, and nobody said a dumb joke. Fantastic Beast. Yeah. Nobody said a dumb joke that pulled me out, or there wasn't some dumb whatever. There weren't some dumb characters that I'm like, oh, there's that type of character. Yeah. There's that type of character. They're checking the box for every character type, and what I can see that in a game, I can see that in a movie, and it pulls me out of the experience. And it's special when they get it right.
Yeah.
Next category was games for impact. Honestly, I haven't played any of these games, but the games were 1979 Revolution, Blockhood, Orwell, Sea Hero Quest, and the winner was the Dragon Cancer. And I think that was really, really cool and special because the guy who came up on stage, it's a story about his child who was fighting cancer, and when they started making the game, he was fighting cancer, and by the time they finished making the game, his son had passed away. So that's exactly what that category means, games for impact. It's I don't know what it's like story-wise, I don't know what it's like gameplay-wise, but being able to tell that story is pretty cool, and the fact that we have a community of people that helped kickstart that game and cared about that game and cared about that kid, and seeing that father up there definitely touched me in that way. So next is best performance. Alex Hernandez as Lincoln Clay in Mafia 3. Sissy Jones as Delilah in Firewatch. Emily Rose as Elena in Uncharted 4. Nolan North as Nathan Drake in Uncharted 4. Rich Summer as Henry in Firewatch. And Troy Baker as Sam Drake in Uncharted. Notice that all of these, it's 3 from Uncharted. I mean, 3. Yeah, 3 from Uncharted, 2 from Firewatch, and then 1 from Mafia. The winner was Nolan North as Nathan Drake. I think that was the whole Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King effect, where it's like, this is the last time, as we know anyway, this is the last time Nolan North is going to be Nathan Drake. And this has been an awesome 10 years or whatever it's been now, and like this is his going out party for this character, so like we need to give him this award, and he deserved it. Best music sound design. This is one that's going to piss both of us off.
Yeah, it really frustrated. It grinded my gears.
It grinded my gears. We've got Battlefield 1, Doom, Inside, Res Infinite, and Thumper. And the winner was Doom. Now, the category says best music / sound design, so I get that. But the music in Doom is just like super heavy, hardcore metal.
Rock.
And then I'm sure the sound design is good. It's got cool sounding, really good sounding guns and gore effects that are gross and nasty. And I know they nailed it with all those things. But to me, something like Inside deserved a shout out. Res Infinite and Thumper are music focused games.
Dark Souls 3.
Yeah, Dark Souls 3.
It had, that's like a full orchestra, but with vocals with like people singing in the back, like choirs.
Yeah,
that's pretty intense. And then they just have some guitars just strumming.
We get it. It's heavy metal. We get it, and I agree because I feel like the one year we've cried about this pretty much. The year that Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze came out, the music for that game is phenomenal, so good, and it wasn't even a nominee. And I'm like, what is this category? It's best music / sound design. So I know the sound design comes back in there. For example, if you look at like BioShock 1, that game didn't have music as far as like you walk into a room and here's the water temple music, you know what I mean? But it had like sound effects that were so eerie, and you would walk by a radio and the radio would be playing some a song from that era, or it would be some like local broadcast type thing that's on repeat, and like the sound design for that was so good. So sometimes it doesn't always have to be music, but in all of these cases, it's like Battlefield. Like, the sound design was awesome. The guns sound beautiful and explosives sound beautiful. But I believe definitely that it totally deserves to be a nod to have a game like what you're talking about with Dark Souls 3, like where there's a full orchestra going. It's a full orchestra. Do you know how hard that is to get that all together? Like, that's a big deal to compose all that and have all those people playing those. Like, that's a big deal, and I think. I feel like we're kind of slipping when it comes to the music part of games for some reason, where it's kind of become more about, just the sounds of explosives, and that's all great. But like, where did like a really great music sound, like the Mega Mans of the world, or more recently like Child of Light, or fully orchestrated stuff like in Demon Souls or Dark Souls and stuff like that. So I feel like those deserve more of a nod. I hope they get better with that. In the future. Yeah,
and all 3 of those years, they all let me down with the sound.
Yeah, because
nominees and categories.
You're a huge like music and art enthusiast with that kind of thing, and I am too. You are even more so than me, but like music for sure. I love what a game. That's what I said earlier. I love how a game can make me feel, and nothing is better at that than really good music and sound design. Really? Yeah. So I'm not denying that like Doom will probably makes you feel like a total BA with just like the crazy music and awesomeness, and that's what they're going for, because you're supposed to be this insane like demon alien killing machine. But still, like, where did the actual the Studio Ghibli type music when it comes to anime, or the the Lord of the Rings orchestra, those type of things are special, and those are in games sometimes, and when they're in games they deserve to have nominations and these type of things. Next, we got Best Art Direction. Abzu, Firewatch, Inside, Overwatch, and Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, and the winner was Inside, and I think that's awesome. And I like this category because we used to have like categories like Best Graphics back in the day, but now it's, you know,
That's not really what it's about.
yeah, it's best art direction. So it could be a game like clearly Uncharted 4 has got incredible art direction, and the great graphics is a part of that art direction. But I think it's awesome that a game like Inside could win. I think Abzu clearly could have won too, because that game is just beautiful to look at. But, you know, I talked about Inside a bunch with that last one, so I don't know if you have anything else to add, but I think it totally deserved it because artistically it's gorgeous. Everything's there for a reason. The lighting and the shading is awesome.
It's just gone back to the whole thing with like the feeling that it gives you.
Exactly.
Just the lighting and how everything's placed, it really adds on to that feeling of the eeriness and the intense feeling.
Yep.
Throughout the game.
Yep. Totally. Okay. Best narrative: Firewatch, Inside, Mafia 3, Oxenfree, and Uncharted 4 Thief's End, and the winner was Uncharted 4 Thief's End.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, and I totally get that. It's a great narrative. This is one, if I would go for Inside if Uncharted didn't come out this year.
Did you say Overwatch was on there?
No, Oxenfree.
Okay, I was about to say, I was like, what story?
Don't worry.
Okay.
But yeah, I think Inside could have won because I think it's told a story without a single word, without a single piece of text, and that's so awesome. It told a really great story, and I think it deserves to win in any other year, but I agree that this year it's going up against Uncharted 4, and you can't deny it. And the same thing that I was saying again, I already said it like 3 times or whatever, but the whole Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King thing, where this is the last one. This is the last Uncharted 4. You know, this is the last thing.
It was wrapped up very well.
It's wrapping up the story, and it pulls together all these story plots and all that kind of thing. Last one. No, actually, second to last one. Best game direction: DICE for Battlefield 1, id Software for Doom, Naughty Dog for Uncharted 4, Respawn for Titanfall 2, and Blizzard for Overwatch. And the winner was Blizzard for Overwatch. And then I'll just jump right into the Game of the Year because it's literally like the same things. Like, I think exactly. So I don't know. Yeah. It's kind of strange they have both these because the Game of the Year is Doom, Inside, Overwatch, Titanfall 2, and Uncharted 4. And the winner is Overwatch. What do you think about Game of the Year, Overwatch?
I was pretty disappointed with that. I mean, it kind of makes sense with just the community and just how much that game exploded. It's basically like a movie, but as a game, like a Disney movie, or like just the whole world of cartoony characters all together in one game. And you know, that kind of brings not just like one group of people together. Like kids can kind of play it, and adults, and anyone really.
Yeah. It's a good point.
But it's not much of a game. It's really just multiplayer. Yeah, and they really hyped it up by putting like cutscenes, and not really, actually no cutscenes. It's like videos and stuff of like
which
the story.
Aren't even in the game.
They're not. They're not in the game, so it's technically not even a part of the game. And probably most people would actually consider that, and they see those things and they're like, "Wow, that's really cool," but that's not the game.
Yeah, it's like CG trailers that are totally.
They're not even in the game. Like even if they put those in the game, like in settings or something, where it's like you go to look at all these little movies, it's not even in there. This is all stuff that's on YouTube or other. Yeah,
because they're trying to build the world, but it's kind of strange that they built the world by like making YouTube videos.
Yeah, it's like cheating. It's not.
Yeah,
they didn't bother to put a story together in the game,
which is fine. A game doesn't need a story, and if the multiplayer by itself is that great, then that's fine. But I still don't even think like I get that the multiplayer is fun, and they did the hero shooter the right way, but I don't know, maybe it's like, and I love online shooters, like, and I will, I play Call of Duties, and I play the Halos of the world, and I mentioned Rainbow Six Siege earlier. I love all these type of games, but I don't know, I feel like Overwatch is a weird pick for Game of the Year. I would go with Inside personally, and then I'd go with Uncharted 4 at number 2. I don't even think Titanfall 2 needs to be a nominee.
No. I would have either said Uncharted 4 or Dark Souls 3, which they didn't bother to put on.
No, that wasn't even in there.
I feel like it doesn't get a lot of love.
No, and I'm kind of confused about that because I feel like that series had love for a while, and maybe it's the Assassin's Creed effect where they like gave us too many games and now they're just like eh.
Yeah, they're all good though. I mean, I don't think none of them really fall short. I don't think. I mean, the second one really wasn't the same. It wasn't the same company, or it might have been, but it wasn't the same. The main guy who does them.
Yeah.
So they kind of just threw that in there while they were working on Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3. But I don't know. I think out of like Skyrim came out in 2011 too, and Zelda Skyward Sword came out, and that game kind of was just like a new game, other than Demon Souls, that kind of just exploded and was like, "Whoa, this is like a new type of game."
Yeah, and it was like that.
It's exciting.
Yeah, really difficult and really.
And this one was kind of like I think the third one. I mean, he might work almost in the future, but this one was also one that was kind of like wrapping it up in a way.
Mm-hmm. Wrapping up the Dark Souls series.
Yeah. So I think it should have at least been considered to be a nominee.
Yeah, I don't know how it looked as far as the reception of it. I thought the reception was pretty decent. I'm going to look it up real quick right here. Dark Souls Metacritic. Dark Souls 3 Metacritic, excuse me. Dark Souls 3 Metacritic got let's just go with the PlayStation 1's, an 89. An 89 score. That's high. That's really high.
Yeah, that's good.
So, and an 8.7 from fans. So, yeah, and remember, these are the same people that are going to be the ones that are nominating these games, and then the ones that are voting on these games.
Yeah.
So it's kind of strange that they gave it such love, and it didn't even get that. Let's see, Titanfall 2 also got an 89.
Well, that's
so
weird.
they both have 89, so they're right there. So you could have possibly even swapped those two out. Maybe it's because Titanfall 2 just came out, so it's on people's minds.
Yeah, which I don't think that's fair, because it's like...
No, but they're humans. If you played a game that came out, like Xenoblade Chronicles X for that RPG category, that game came out...
come out this year?
No, it came out in December last year, so it just missed the cut for last year's games.
Okay.
So it's allowed to be in the cuts for this year's games. But
it didn't.
But now it's just happened so long ago that even if somebody loved it, since then they've been able to play, Dark Souls, and they've been able to play the Witcher 3 expansion and all the other ones that they nominated. So I get it, but it's kind of unfortunate too.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's pretty much it for the game awards thingy. Except for one more thing. What did you think about Twilight Princess trailer, and what did you think about the gameplay? Not Twilight Princess. What is wrong with me?
Yeah.
What did you think about the Breath of the Wild gameplay and Breath of the Wild trailer?
The trailer was interesting. I guess it was kind of just showing the people that there are other people in the game.
Yeah. You're not all. So far, it's like Link all by himself and bad guys and the world.
Well, and that one old man.
Yeah, and that one old man. Yeah. I'm the only guy left.
Yeah. But yeah, the other people look cool. I think they showed someone like on a horse, but you don't usually see that. And they look more like actually interacting with the world.
And they showed like what we think was probably Zelda.
Yeah, which like they showed two different like girls, and actually their outfits looked a little different. So I don't know if there'll be like another character, Linkle. I don't know.
Linkle, you could play as female Link. You can play as Linkle,
or maybe she's in the game. That'd be weird, but
yeah, I don't know. I thought the gameplay they showed was kind of like eh.
It looked cool though, because they were like in a jungle.
No, I agree. The placing of it looked really cool, but I feel like it was kind of strange, and it kind of made me uncomfortable to just watch Bill Trinan and this other guy argue up there. Why does Nintendo always do that? They always want to like have the two people who play the game together like argue.
Yeah,
like, why are we always
your
arguing?
Game look good.
No, it makes it look kind of dumb. Then they're just like, "Ha, you died. My turn." It's like what?
Yeah, it's like, what's going on? You guys okay?
Let's move on to PSX. And that last thing took us a little bit longer, so maybe we'll move through PSX kind of quick. We'll see. So, I'm just gonna go through, and if you have any opinion on this at all, then okay. If you don't have any opinion, then whatever. Gravity Rush 2 DLC. Okay, next one. Dreadnought coming to PS4.
That what is that?
It's like a space.
Yeah. I watched the trailer for that. It looks really cool. It's like you're in space or on planets, in a spaceship, but like a really big one that has like a bunch of like crew, like a big crew on it. So it's like kind of like a slow moving space shooter. Mm-hmm. So that could be interesting.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Okay, Resogun's next game. Did you see that? Next Machina. Next Machina.
The people who made that.
Yeah. It's Housemarque. It's Housemarque.
It looks like Resogun, but on the ground.
Yeah, but running around. What do you think of that?
That looked interesting.
Looks awesome. I want to play it.
It had a cool like cartoony like little cutscenes or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
things that they showed in the trailer.
Yeah, the art style looks really cool, and the cutscenes and all that kind of stuff looks really neat. I might move through a couple of these. There's the MLB The Show with Ken Griffey Jr. on the cover because he's going to the Hall of Fame, I guess, or whatever. Baseball,
something like that.
who cares? Ace Combat 7, which I don't know if I don't see. Was it VR? Would make sense for Ace Combat to be VR too. I know they pushed VR, but
it didn't say anything about that when I looked at it.
Starblood Arena was a PlayStation VR. Did you see that one?
No.
This one right here. Look at my phone. Terrible character design. Terrible character design. And then we have Absolver, which is a multiplayer combat role-playing game. Did you see that?
It's what?
Okay, nobody cares. Ni no Kuni 2. Yes.
That looks cool.
Yes. Ni no Kuni is awesome. Fantastic franchise. It's just so gorgeous. It's like Pokemon meets Studio Ghibli stuff meets like the animes of my dreams. It's just so good. It's so good. Danganronpa version 3. Do you know what Danganronpa is?
I don't know what you're saying.
Here. You don't know what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah, I seen that.
What did you think?
Does it have something to do with Persona? I feel like I've seen them together and stuff.
Yeah, I think whatever words and stuff.
I've seen that like millions of times, like that face, and I have no idea what it is, but I never bothered to look it up.
Yeah.
So cool for that.
Yeah.
Good for
people
it.
love it. That's this franchise people like. So I'm glad that game's coming out, and maybe eventually we can get into it and try it. I have never really seen it yet, but whatever. Okay, skip over that. Nobody cares about that.
The rapping dog.
Parappa the Rapper? Yeah.
What'd
you think about that? Parappa the Rapper.
I never played that game, but it looks really funny. But it's like remastered.
Yeah, exactly. It looks so bad. It looks so bad, but so good.
Yeah.
I'm glad people who used to play that game will be able to play it again, and maybe people who never did will be able to get it just for like the fun of it, because it looks so bad,
so silly and funny,
but it's so funny.
So such a Japanese.
It's so
thing.
like 90s cartoons meets like Japanese meets like it looks funny.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's a funny franchise. I wish maybe this is like a test to see if it has success, and maybe they'll decide to bring it back.
Yeah.
It deserves a shot anyway, even though it's a weird franchise. Weird franchises like that can look at how long WarioWare lasted, and look at like Rhythm Heaven and weird games like that. Rhythm Heaven's freaking fantastic.
Great game.
Yeah.
Game of the year.
Game of the year. Yeah.
Mega Mix. The Rhythm Heaven.
That was this year.
Yeah.
Come on, why didn't that get for sound design? Best music / sound design.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Come on. Literally, the game's about music and sound design. Okay, Lara Croft Go coming to PlayStation. What do you think about that?
I've looked at it. It looks actually like a decent mobile game, but it'll be cool to have it on PS4.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. Knack 2.
Stupid.
Agreed.
But you can play with 2 people now.
Oh, that's worth it now.
Yeah, and it just had like some
now you're gonna get it.
Weird song in the background. I think people were like singing or something, and it was like made me uncomfortable. But it looks like the same exact game.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. I don't know why. Now you know
weird
why
that they decided that. I thought that would just be dead.
Now you know why when that guy came up on stage at the PSX, why they were like, this guy, the creator of Knack. I'm like, why are you advertising that he's the creator of Knack?
Yeah,
like,
why would you want to be known for
of?
that? I'd keep that a secret.
Yeah, like, don't tell anybody. Oh, Knack 2 is coming out. That's why. Who asked for Knack 2? How many people were out there were like, hey, can you please make Knack 2? We really like. Who asked for that game?
Maybe they're putting like all their power into this one, all their mind, to see make it actually maybe make a good game. One last try. I don't know. Maybe to have like a new IP.
Yeah, I think they were just trying to go for a new IP, and I don't know. I don't get it. It seems
whatever. Don't have that Nintendo magic.
No, oh my gosh, no. That's what it feels like it is. It's like Ratchet and Clank maybe has like the closest thing to the Nintendo magic.
Yeah.
But like, if you want that type of game, just don't even try. All right. Resident Evil 7 demo is out for PlayStation VR, so that's really cool. So that they can actually try it on the VR version. I feel like if we had a VR, that would be the game that I would want to get because.
Yeah, I played the demo.
Yeah, I remember you playing the demo, the regular one.
Yeah, it was creepy. Yeah, I don't really play. I wouldn't buy it because I don't play horror games really.
Yeah.
Not that it's like
I don't either.
I like getting scared It's fun, but I don't really like all that. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of like all that bloody and gross
Yeah, all
stuff.
the over the top gore. I'm not either. But I feel like VR was made for creepy stuff like that. It's just
it works perfectly.
Oh, just that's just so scary. I want to be scared like that. That's really cool. Anyway,
Yeah.
Did you see the new trailer for Horizon Zero Dawn?
No.
How interesting. Okay, what is your interest level on Horizon Zero Dawn?
Like 0.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just.
Why?
I didn't get that.
It's like
feeling
an open. It's supposed to be like open world. It's supposed. It looks very pretty. I know you're not the biggest like fan of the design, like aesthetically for like her specifically, with her kind of funky looking hair.
Yeah.
But it looks like really pretty. It's such a weird, cool idea. I love the idea. It's like the apocalypse, like thousands of years in the future, where we've had to go back into like a tribal state to survive, but there's still all this robotic stuff around. Is there somebody out there that's still making these robotic things, or are they living on their own? Are they breeding on their own? Like, what is the story behind this? Why are you not interested in all that?
I think there's just this like click that I get when I'm looking at a game at first,
Mm-hmm.
and if I don't get it, it's hard for me to ever want to get into it.
Yeah.
I don't. That could be for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I just didn't get that click, and then it's like, I don't know. Maybe if I ever see it or maybe like if there's a demo, I try that out.
Mm-hmm.
That usually helps. Or if I ever just see it cheaper,
Yeah.
or see someone else playing it in like person, or like a friend or something.
I think this is gonna be PlayStation's next. It won't be. I don't think it'll ever be Uncharted, but I think it'll be like. I think it's gonna be huge. I think this is gonna be a series that's gonna go forward. I think people are gonna love it. I feel like most PlayStation fans are gonna be like, this is our new thing, so they're gonna grip onto it. And the game doesn't look like it's gonna fail. If it fails, this would be really bad for them because a lot of people are gonna grip onto it and be like, "Ooh, this is our thing." Sort of like Titanfall for Xbox. Like they jumped onto that. Like this is our game. That's why it sold so well, because they were like so excited about this. Be like, this is what I can be proud of. And then when it wasn't as great as they hoped it to be, and then when they made it multi-platform, they had no reason to be like, this is my thing. So that's why Titanfall 2 undersold. Yeah. And the fact that it was sandwiched in between Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty, which is stupid.
Really bad idea.
Yeah, you're an idiot. If you put that game out in February, you would sell it. Oh, you would sell that game like hotcakes. Like you would sell that game, and it that pisses me off so much. I don't understand EA sometimes. I think Horizon Zero Dawn is going to be great. I think it's going to be, at worst, an 8 out of 10 type game, honestly. I'd be surprised if it's like a 7.
It definitely looks like a AAA game, for sure.
It looks like a quadruple A game, like one of those like really special ones. Whether it's going to hold up or not, we'll see. But Let It Die is a new game from Suda51 that's free on your PlayStation 4 right now. I already told you about this. Did you download it yet?
No.
Did you look at it yet?
No.
Are you going to at least check it out?
Maybe.
Okay, please check it out.
I tried to look for at the video, and it was like I wasn't on my YouTube account, so it was like you need to be a certain age to look at it.
Oh, and then you're just like, eh. I love when that happens, when they're like, oh, can you please, like, you want to look at something real quick, and they're like, oh, can you please log in to make sure you're old enough? It's like, I don't care enough for me to even go press the login button.
Which I guess I'm pretty lazy then, because there's a little trick you can do. I think right after www. You can write PWN, like Pwn.
Oh, yeah?
And then it'd be like Pwn YouTube or whatever. You just write Pwn, and then it takes you to like this other website where you can watch the video.
Oh, like through it.
Yeah, without having a certain age. Don't ask me why I wanted to do that. I don't even remember. It was a long time ago. It was probably like I don't know, something. But
probably another video game thing.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully.
I don't know. Anyway, that's, I could have just did that. But even just doing that, I was like, I don't know.
Okay, we'll check it out. Check it out later on.
It's free, so I'll check
it out and see if you hate it, then just take it off. If you love it, then whatever. Okay, I'm going to save the best thing for last. The second to most interesting thing is the Uncharted 4, the new chapter, The Lost Legacy, which stars two of the female antagonists pretty much, kind of like in between, because Nadine and whatever. So what did you think about that? You're the Uncharted fan, but what did you think about this weird DLC spin-off-y type thing?
I like watched some of the video for it. Most of it was just walking around, so that didn't really interest me that much. like a little fighting too.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I like Nathan.
Yeah.
So just not having him there was kind of like,
Yeah.
or Sully, or
Yeah, it's kind of like here's Halo without Master Chief.
Exactly.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I shouldn't have said that because Halo 3 ODST is my favorite campaign, and you don't even play as the Chief.
Oh yeah.
So scratch that. What I just said. Why do you got the coughs all of a sudden, Mike? Are you gonna get me sick?
Yeah, maybe.
Please don't get me sick.
I'll try not to.
Okay. So thumbs up, thumbs down, or thumbs in the middle for this DLC?
I haven't seen enough of it, so I guess in the middle.
In the middle.
I mean, maybe I didn't like pay attention enough, but I don't know what the exact story is for it, or how it connects to Uncharted 4. I mean, it is standalone, so it might not really connect to it at all.
Yeah.
But
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
I think it's interesting. I feel like now it's just they're trying to make money. I kind of almost feel like they finished the story. It's like, don't touch it. It's perfect. Just let it go.
Yeah.
And I get it that they want to add some stuff, and some people will be really excited about it. And maybe this is the best way to do it because it will be maybe weird. It's like, here's some DLC with Nathan Drake again. And you'd be like, wait, I thought I finished his story.
Exactly.
You know? So I get that.
I would have thought that they'd have it with Sam.
Yeah, that's what you were shooting for. Maybe they're trying to push like a female protagonist thing, which is fine, except both of these girls aren't good in the actual
they're not
story.
Really
they're
relevant.
like bad characters kind of in the story.
They're not really relevant, so
and they're kind of like backstabby, or you know what I mean? Like they're kind of like weird. They're like, are they good? They're like the anti-hero type hero, where it's like they're kind of good, kind of not.
Maybe they're just trying to go for like a BA type. Like these are the cool girls.
like edgy. Yeah. I don't know.
But I think it would have made more sense if they went with Sam, because they kind of were in the end kind of talking with like Sully and Sam were talking about like doing their own thing. So if it was like them in like a little side story that happens or something like that would make more sense.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
But we'll see.
Okay, last thing, most important thing, Last of Us 2. Last of Us 2. What do you think?
I watched that.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting. The room that she's like in when she's like playing the guitar is actually like the main menu for Last of Us, which is pretty cool. Yeah, like the window with like the curtain.
Okay.
For the HD one anyway, not HD, for the PS4
one.
The
PS4 version, yeah.
Which I think they're the same, but
I would think so.
I think I found out. I'm pretty sure that like you play as her though.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what's going on with that.
You'd rather play as Joel?
I think. I don't know.
Like if from the get go Ellie was the main character you played with, you'd be fine with it.
Yeah, I don't.
But
I
you
don't
played
like
with
change.
Joel, and you don't like the change of that. Like you're not a big fan of change. You want to stick with.
She's older now, so I think it's gonna be different for sure.
Yeah, and
they wouldn't, knowing them too. I guess they wouldn't want to do the same exact thing for that story.
No.
Kind of the same premise of her like being a kid and him helping her and then protecting her.
Yeah, to keep.
She's older now, so he might not even be in it like the whole entire time. And I think it's like a revenge thing too, because that's what she said.
But that's gonna be weird, like an Uncharted game where not Uncharted, a Naughty Dog game where you don't have a buddy right by your side, like running with you. Yeah, like I feel like that's just a thing.
I just
it's
can't
like,
picture like
here's
Joel
here's
running
Nathan
with
Drake
her.
just moving, and Sully's right there talking to him, or here's Joel and Ellie's right there talking to him.
Yeah, it really always
or
felt
even
awkward.
like Jack and Daxter, like it's like been their thing for forever to have like two people side by side.
And there were parts in Uncharted and like Last of Us where you're alone. That just always felt awkward.
Yeah, doesn't it feel like you're like kind of like a weird alone feeling?
Yeah, it did. But maybe she'll be with someone else. I just can't imagine like Joel just walking behind her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think it's gonna be like a revenge thing. I don't want to like spoil anything, but like most people probably know. But like, she's going. I think she might be going like after
spoiler alert,
like the Firefly like organization or something.
Yeah.
Something
she says I'm gonna kill all of them or whatever.
It's like, ooh. And I don't think she's talking about zombies.
They said it's a story about hate. So what makes me sad about that is I hope that in the end there's redemption, because I don't like a hate story unless it ends with some redemption. If it's like a hate story and it ends with like Ellie just murdering everybody and then like dying herself, like that's just, I know that Last of Us is like the darker version. It's like Uncharted dark. You know what I mean? It's Uncharted because it's like the same type of feel and whatnot. I mean the same like gameplay and the same witty conversations between the two characters and stuff. But at the same time, like, you know, but I don't want it to be so dark where it takes away heart. And I know Last of Us was just stuffed with heart, and like
Even
the scariest part I think was just like, please don't let Joel or Ellie die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that they did it right by not letting them die, because I think sometimes it's stupid to just be like, here's this character you like, now they're dead. You know what I mean? So like, I think it's kind of mute your thing for the next 10 seconds when they killed Han, because it's a spoiler alert, when they killed Han Solo in Star Wars. It's just like, come on, guys. Why'd you have to do that? You know what I mean? What's the point in killing him off just because you can? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of lame when they do that. Okay, now hopefully they're unmuted. You guys are back.
Yeah.
But that was a spoiler for Star Wars. So, yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of, I don't like when they would just kill off something when it's like, it's important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I hope they don't do something like that just for the sake of it, like partway through Joel dies and now you're just playing as Ellie. I hope
not, because I feel like he'd be the one who, like, if she was kind of going, not crazy, but like wanting revenge or anything, or kind of like...
He keeps her sane.
Yeah, I feel like he's that type of character who would do that.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's kind of be like, maybe off and on in the story, like supporting her. Because I don't know, I just can't imagine him just being like behind her the whole entire time. But
yeah.
We'll see.
All right, I think that's pretty much it. I think this went a little bit longer than I thought. I don't think the normal episode's going to go quite this long, but we'll see. I know personally I listen to podcasts when I'm at work, and I'm always sad when they're only like 45 minutes or an hour long. So hopefully we're entertaining enough that you guys can listen to us during work or during workout or whatever the heck. I don't care. And, we probably will push for more like an hour to an hour and a half or whatever. I don't even know how long this has lasted so far.
This is like an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh, it's only been an hour and 15?
Yeah.
Right, well, then you guys are fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, if you guys want to ask questions, we will definitely have a question section where we'll answer those things and we'll get into detail for them. Any questions you want for us personally and our own opinions for different things in games, something that's relevant to like a news story that's going on right now, you can give us your thoughts on it and we can totally like bounce our thoughts back off of that and everything. That would be great. That the email again for that is wordsandstuffquestions@gmail.com. All one word, all the way fluid through. Every word is spelled exactly how it should. wordsandstuffquestions@gmail.com. You can find us on SoundCloud. You can just look up Words and Stuff. Well, we are on YouTube as soon as this comes up, but I don't know where it's going to be or whatever. It's going to be a confusing mess. We'll figure that out. Hopefully it'll just be something easy as far as the URL for it. We'll figure that out soon. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the first episode of Words and Stuff. Got anything else to say, Micah?
Yeah, here's the quote of the episode. Are you ready?
I have no idea what this is about.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Everyone wants happiness. No one wants pain. But you can't have a rainbow without a little rain. Boom. That's it right there.
Thank you. I was not expecting that at all.
Have a good night, everyone.
Words and Stuff.
Yep.